There are so many fascinating Sopranos characters that it's really difficult to pick my favorite. With a few characters, it was far from love at first sight. But with that said, here are 5 characters from The Sopranos that I didn't like at first, but then grew to really appreciate.
Hey, Mikey, how's the boy? It's too bad they don't have a telethon for fuckface-itis, huh? They found a cure yet?
It was easy for me to dislike Mikey at first because at the beginning, we're so enamored with Tony, or at least I was. I mean, anyone who was a threat to Tony Soprano was no friend of ours, right?
Hi, Jack. Bye, Jack.
Well, not necessarily, but for the first few times I watched the show, that's how I felt. But then I began to see Mikey in a different way.
Junior Soprano is the new boss, and he ain't respecting old arrangements.
While he was still a villain, he was a funny villain, and one who had particularly good acting chemistry with both Junior and JoJo, his wife, while he was on the show for the one season that he was.
What was that?
You're another one.
Trying to concentrate here.
Oh my God. He's going to jail?
Well, the other forever.
These guys today, they want to be buried in their jogging outfits, huh? And I guess it gives Christopher and Polly a little warm-up to Pine Barrens.
Oh, Johnny Sack! They must have free tokens at the tunnel.
After serving a 10-year prison sentence, Richie gets out of the can and immediately goes to see his old friend Beansy. When Beansy doesn't agree to start giving Richie a percentage of the store profits, Richie's not going to take no for an answer.
I put you in action, Beansy. You got a bad memory, Beansy. Veal Parmesan sandwich. Fuck you.
Similarly to how Mikey was a villain from the start, but one that I nonetheless came to enjoy, pretty much the same applies for Richie.
Red. Fuck blue. Red cells.
Oh yeah, and remember how Richie told Christopher that if he wanted to raise his hands to Adriana, he needed to give her his last name, and Richie hit her. Rules are rules.
Someone leave a cage open at Turtleback Zoo? The jacket. I took off Rocco DeMeo. Cocksucker had the toughest reputation in Essex County, but he never came back after I got through with him.
Reminds me of that guy, Richie Aprile. He had the toughest reputation in North Jersey, but he never came back after Janice got through with him.
Oh, boys, no fires. Tony doesn't want any fires.
When Ralph kills Tracy, it's one of the most shocking scenes on the show, and it's hard to really have any sympathy for Ralph after that. But this whole good versus evil, Ralph completely evil framework gets complicated for me and whoever did this when Ralph's son, Justin, gets pierced in the chest with an arrow while playing with a friend. He's gravely injured, and the next time we see Justin is at a hospital bed with Ralph sitting at the end. So I don't know if I'm just a sucker, but I do feel sympathy here for Ralph.
My little boy.
We know Ralph's a good earner, but he doesn't just have dollars. Sometimes he does have a lot of sense too. Unlike some other guys who don't know to not shit where they eat. Not for nothing, I don't think Tony appreciated Ralph's not flying his way, but I guess that's kind of a side note at this point.
I hate to do it, Artie, but I think I'm gonna pass. Sorry.
Why not?
Because if you don't pay me back, I ain't gonna be able to hurt you.
When we compare guys like Ralph and Richie Aprile, for example, with Richie, I think he came out of the womb a stone-cold, hardened killer. But I feel like with Ralph, I see him more as someone who's extremely damaged from trauma in childhood and other issues. Not someone who necessarily was born to be a killer.
That poor kid lost his dad.
I lost mine when I was 6.
You know, Ralph had to drop out in the 11th grade to raise his brothers and sisters.
She loved him, but showed it only in connection with some sort of violent or abusive act.
Feech La Manna.
There he is. The man, the legend.
It's all about setting the precedent. First day there. I look around.
My nephew.
Right in the middle of my story.
When Feech really goes over the line is when he organizes a mass carjacking at Dr. Freed's daughter's wedding, who Tony has known for many years.
Isn't there something in your parole about hanging out with degenerates like this?
Hey, come on, he gets away with anything. Last time his parole officer made the unannounced visit, he gave him a massage.
So how's Lady Luck treating you, huh?
Jesus fucking Christ, how many times this guy gotta say hello?
But at the same time, Feech is hilarious.
Your Holiness, we got hundreds of popes up here. This is the first Jewish accountant.
There's just something so funny about the way he tells his impermeable stories that I can't help but laugh. The problem is Feech doesn't know how to not fuck it up. Like when he shows his appreciation to Don Antonio for letting him run the executive card game and sending him some of his high rollers by arranging a masked Grand Theft Auto at Dr. Ira Freed's daughter's wedding, like I mentioned. You know, one of those high roller friends that Tony specifically sent Feech's way.
In my book, you get points for staying out of the can.
Good thing for me, then, that your book don't mean no gods.
Though, as we see, Tony gets the last laugh here. Perhaps Feech should have pulled a Tony B and given the parole officer a massage.
Phil! Phil, where you going?
And finally, Phil Leotardo. Some call him the Shah of Iran. Some think he turns into a house at the end. I have a couple of 3 things to say. First, he's old school.
A whack a boss? I won't do that.
Second, he has some amazing quotes.
Either it has meaning or no meaning.
And third, just don't ask whatever happened there with his brother Billy. Phil's old school play-by-the-rules mentality can only go up to a point, though, as we see in season 6. What goes around comes around.
My neck, Tony.
From Alcoholics Anonymous.
What's your name?
Well, we're anonymous.
Your taste. How's Patricia? You mind?
All I can say here is, Phil gave Doc his taste, but Doc got greedy and wanted another one.
20 years in the can. I wanted manicotti. I compromised. I ate grilled cheese off the radiator instead. There's no scraps in my scrapbook.
So, to wrap it all up, these 5 characters, I didn't like them at first. But the more I watched, the more I came to appreciate them. And I think that they each, in their own way, contribute to making The Sopranos the tremendous TV show that it is. With Mikey for season 1, Richie for season 2, Ralph for season 3 and 4, Feech for season 5, and Phil for season 5 and 6. What do you think of these characters? Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.